This is from Madrigal's Magic Key to Spanish, and we are on the first lesson, Lección número 1. El mono, the monkey. It is very easy to build a large vocabulary of Spanish words. In fact, you already know thousands of English words that become Spanish words if you change them very slightly. These words fall into several large categories. Category 1. The first and easiest category is made up of words which end in OR. These words are often identical in Spanish and English. Remember, el means the, un means a or an. The actor, el actor, an actor, un actor. El actor, el doctor, un tractor, interior. El color, un profesor, el favor. Spanish words that end in or are stressed on the last syllable. Example, doctor. The letter R is trilled in Spanish. Category 2. Next, there is a category of Spanish words that end in al. These also are often identical in Spanish and English. The animal, el animal. El animal, central, local, personal, el criminal. I'm going to skip some. Musical, legal, natural. Note, Spanish words that end in al are stressed on the last syllable. Example, local. Category 3. Then comes a category of words that end in ble. These also are often identical in Spanish and English. The cable, el cable. Posible, probable, horrible, terrible. Note, Spanish words that end in ble are stressed on the next to last syllable. Example, notable. Category 4. The fourth large category is made up of those words that end in IC in English. To change them to Spanish, simply add the letter O. IC equals ICO. The public, el público. El Atlántico, democrático, el público, artístico, romántico, automático. Note, in Spanish, the accent never alters the sound of letters. Whenever a letter is accented, stress the letter firmly. Example, público. ¿Cómo eso? Público. Category 5. Another large category is made up from those words which end in ENT or ANT. If you simply add the letter E to many of these, they magically become Spanish words. The president, el presidente, important, importante. El presidente, excelente, importante, el elefante, diferente, inteligente. Note, words that end in ENT or ANT are accented on the next to last syllable. Example, presidente. The letter G is pronounced H, as in hen, when it appears before E or I. Example, inteligente is pronounced inteligente. Now that you know all these words, let's see how easy it is to put them into sentences. Just remember that S means is, no S means is not, el means the, un means a or an. El actor es popular. El canal es importante. El tenor es romántico. El restaurante es excelente. El presidente es diplomático. El criminal es terrible. El actor no es un animal. El cliente es importante. You get the idea. If you want to read the rest of them, you can go ahead and do that and translate them to yourself. Note, the letter H is always silent in Spanish. Hotel is pronounced hotel. The sentences above can be made into questions by changing the word order. In Spanish, you do not say, is the actor popular? You must say, is popular the actor? ¿Es popular el actor? Is the actor popular? ¿Es romántico el tenor? Is the tenor romantic? ¿Es diplomático el presidente? Is the president diplomatic? ¿Es importante el canal? Is the canal important? These are words to remember. Oops, if we can get to them. El, the. El mono, the monkey. Es, is. Un, a or an. El estudiante, the student. No es, is not. Curioso, curious. En mi opinión, in my opinion. Sí, yes. Popular, popular. I know. Oh no. Conversation. Oh, I guess we're doing this in Spanish. Conversación. Es popular el actor. Is the actor popular? Sí, el actor es popular. Es terrible el profesor. Is the profesor terrible? No, el profesor no es terrible. El profesor es excelente. And I'm not going to read all of these. I'm happy to go over them in class, but they are all questions and answers. We're going to head over here to page 5. Es means is, and also it is or its. Examples. Es importante. It's important. Es terrible. It's terrible. Es natural. It's natural. Es personal. It's personal. Practice the following expressions. Es posible. Es diferente. Es horrible. Es probable. Es fantástico. Es imposible. That one's a hard one. Es imposible. I'm going to skip it because my mouth won't do that today. Es romántico. Es automático. Es original. Es excelente. Imposible. Es imposible. There we go. No es means is not. And also, it is not or it isn't. Examples. Are we in the right spot? Yes. No es importante. It isn't important. No es automático. It isn't automatic. No es posible. It isn't possible. No es urgente. It isn't urgent. Sentence forming exercise. You will find 3 columns of Spanish words below. Take Take words from column 1, column 2, and column 3 and form complete sentences with them. For example, take el actor from column 1, es from column 2, and popular from column 3. Put them together and they form the sentence el actor es popular. Other sample sentences. El restaurante es excelente. El cliente es importante. El doctor no es terrible. For practice, combine the words below in different ways to form as many sentences as you can. Just be sure to use words from each of the 3 columns in every sentence you form. This would be an exercise on page 6 that you do on your own. Exercise in translation. Translate the following sentences into Spanish. Write out each sentence in Spanish using the columns above as a guide. After you have written out all the sentences, check with the correct translations below this exercise. Check your sentences with the correct Spanish translations, which are over here on page 7. Basic differences in spelling between Spanish and English. In Spanish, PH becomes F. Elephant, elefante. Telephone, teléfono. Phonetic, fonético. Phonograph, fonógrafo. In Spanish, TH becomes T. English, cathedral, catedral. Author, autor. Authentic, auténtico. Methodist, metodista. Catholic, católico. The only letters that are doubled in Spanish are L and R. Double only L and R. All other letters such as S, SS, PP, MM, NN, TT, FF, except L and R, which are doubled in English, become single letters in Spanish. For example, in English, commission, Spanish, comisión. Apparent, aparente. Annual, anual. Attractive, atractivo. Different, diferente. Let's head over to page 8. You will find a double C in Spanish, but this is not a double C. Each C is pronounced separately since each belongs to a different syllable. The first C has a K sound and the second an S sound. For example, correction becomes corrección. Two C's go into separate syllables in the following way. Corrección, instrucción, construcción. I'm getting a little off there. In Spanish, T-I-O-N always becomes C-I-O-N. In English, we have convention. In Spanish, convención. Conventional, convencional. Following are long lists of words that you get free without toil or struggle in your very first Spanish lesson. Go through the list reading each word aloud. These words are wonderful because you don't have to memorize them or even study them to any extent. By the time you have read lists aloud, you will have mastered the technique of making up words in each of the 5 different categories. All right, I am not going to read all of these words. I have picked out the most popular ones or ones that I think are used in everyday language the most. Actor. Oh, here we have el doctor. Actor. We're skipping a bunch here. Color, favor, autor, doctor, honor. We'll go up here to page 9 where we have tractor, profesor, valor. Some words that end in TOR in English end in DOR in Spanish. The senator, el senador. These are not words that I would use very often, but for pronunciation's sake, we have educa. Yeah, that one's not going to come out right. We'll go with creador. El senador, creador, dictador. Category 2. Words that end in AL are often identical in Spanish and English. Excepcional, animal. What else do we have here? Final, capital, criminal, cultural, general, central, emocional. Oh, I'm getting off here, aren't I? Sorry. That's about all. Page 10, we're continuing with the AL words. Perhaps I don't have enough hands. We'll go here. Musical, natural, plural, normal. Note, the letter J is always pronounced in Spanish. Example, jovial is pronounced jovial. Some words that end in CAL in English and in CO in Spanish. Logical, lógico. I didn't do all of these. I don't have enough hands, you guys. Físico, cómico, médico, técnico, idéntico, típico. Category 3. Words that end in ble are often identical in Spanish and English. The cable, el cable. Adorable, cable, durable, curable, imaginable. Oh, we have more over here. Page 11. Improbable, imposible, posible, preferible, probable, horrible. Category 6, add the letter O to words that end in IC in English. Académico, pacífico, plástico, histórico, público, atlántico. Page 12. Add the letter E to words that end in ENT or ANT in English. The agent, el agente, accidente, agente, excelente, presente, inteligente, suficiente. Note, words that end in MENT are changed into Spanish by by adding the letter O. The instrument. El instrumento, el monumento, ANTE. The restaurant. It's important. You've got to eat somewhere. El restaurante, importante, elefante. The book recommends down here, get some 3x5. Oh, we're going to actually do this one. Get some 3x5 cards at your stationer's and copy the material, I like that is shown on the sample below on one of them. Then you can carry the card with you in your pocket or purse, or you can stick it in this book and glance at it during your spare moments, because you're going to have this book with you all the time. Each time you look at your card, try to make up several words in each category, aside from those that are listed on the card. Reminder card 1. We have OR, el doctor, el actor, el animal, personal, ble. I took out el cable because we don't really talk about cables very much. And I would use probable and posible. El Atlántico, eléctrico, el presidente, excelente, el restaurante, importante. El restaurante es importante. Throughout your study of Spanish, carry cards as reminders. Glance at them once in a while and you will progress twice as fast as you would without them.